everybody, welcome back to PSGL. George Morgan here, your commentator, alongside me, TK, who is going to be rounding off the season with me. Down the inside, absolutely possible scene. This is for the win between these two.
I'm on the edge of my seat.
He needs to get it done now.
Blakey will dive to the inside.
We're robust, we've got our elbows out.
Ronard takes the lead.
Yes, here comes Alfie Butcher.
Can't really complain with that one.
It's not going to be easy. The pressure is on, of course.
Yana Watmere is your champion.
Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, everybody, and welcome back to PSGL PCF5, and it is time to take on the famous, world-famous Circuit de Spa-Francorchamps in Stavola, Belgium. We're in for a good time here tonight. My name is Patrick Coleman, aka Rekus, and alongside me, up this side actually, is the one, the only, my good friend, Rio Harris. Rio, how are you doing today, good sir, on this fine Thursday afternoon?
I'm very well, thank you. I'm excited for what should hopefully be a good 22 laps. Firstly, considering we don't get another lobby disconnect, because that would be suboptimal, safe to say. But hey, nonetheless, we're here for Spa. It's always going to be exciting because it's such different battery usage. It's one of those. It's like Silverstone, it's one of those battery drainers here, and nonetheless, it's going to be one that can definitely excite.
Oh yeah, 100%. And Spa is such a good track. Good for overtaking, but the battery management is going to be crucial. While we're talking to Spa, let's go ahead and just take a look at the track map of where we are going to be racing here today. It is a whopping 19 corners around with just over 7 kilometers of action. There's one less straight mode zone compared to real life. The straight mode in between La Source and Radion is missing this time around. So there will be a handful of areas to go ahead and get that overtake. You expect to see a lot of energy management, particularly in that sector too. As we go ahead and wait to get the lobby fired up, let's go ahead and talk about the standings. So these are from round 2 in China. Federico Spiga does take the win and 16 points to his name. Zozo in second place. Yano, who was a reserve driver, will take P3, and it is going to be a very competitive championship here. Only, I think it was 4 points, I think, were also brought in due to just the race. Like Rio said earlier on, it was cut a few laps short due to server side shenanigans. So hopefully, like Rio said, we will get the full race here today. And then we take a look at the constructor standings. 2 constructors are tied currently. Mercedes and Alpine, with Audi actually having only half of their points tally. So watching the battle between Mercedes and Alpine is going to be a very, very good time here tonight as we get ready. So I'm just going to pass this one on to you, Rio. Between Alpine and Mercedes, who do you think is going to be ahead after tonight's race in Belgium?
I mean, it's always hard to predict because you've got such great talent amongst both the teams. I mean, based from that, you can't really predict. There's always the chance they score the same amount of points as each other. I mean, they did exactly that in China, which was technically the opening round. Don't forget that obviously next week, I think next week is meant to be the break week, but we're racing because we had to reschedule Silverstone. So technically we're in round 2 of the season. We'll be here in Belgium for round number 2. But yeah, out of the 2, oh, it's close because I mean, you saw Zozo's pace. Zozo could have maybe challenged for the win. If I had to predict, it would probably be Zozo. Here's a look at your calendar then. Obviously it says round 1 Silverstone, Britain, but move that to the break week. So technically we start off in China, then we're here today for this Belgian Grand Prix, then we head to Silverstone, then we head to a brand new circuit of the Madrid Grand Prix, which is probably going to be a bit chaotic, but we're here. Who doesn't like a bit of chaos? Then we head to the Red Bull Ring, which will definitely provide racing action. Then we head to a circuit not on the Formula 1 calendar for the 2026 season, unless it gets brought back. It's the Emiliana-Romagna Grand Prix. Then we head to the entertainment capital of the world in Las Vegas. Then to Mexico City, the Sao Paulo Grand Prix, again, another one that always provides action. Then we head to Bahrain, and then we finish off in the Lone Star State, a circuit you, I'm sure, know well, Patrick. The United States Grand Prix in Texas.
Yeah, so, I mean, I love Texas. It's a fantastic track. The Circuit of the Americas really does provide a lot of action regardless. And actually, realistically, the tracks that I'm going to be the most excited for is going to be Brazil, obviously. Brazil always provides some darn good action. Whenever we race there, whenever anybody races there for that matter. I mean, you could probably race on foot around Interlagos, and it's going to be an absolute dream of a race to go ahead and just be a part of. Bahrain could go either way. Madrid, especially after those mile-high sausage curbs they added to the opening sector of the racetrack, the one that everybody used to kind of like skip over essentially. That one's going to be fun. The Red Bull Ring is probably a top 3 for me, alongside Brazil. And now, I do get 2 out of my 3 home tracks, but unfortunately, my actual home track isn't on the calendar. I mean, I may get on my hands and knees and beg them to add Miami, but I know Miami, I think it's still technically under competitive quarantine, kind of like I think Canada is also under a bit of a competitive quarantine due to some bugs that have been on the track. I know Madrid was on there for a while until they added those sausage curbs that apparently can launch you airborne. Now, I will admit, I haven't actually raced on Madrid since they added these new sausage curbs, but I'll be curious to see how the drivers handle it, because adaptability is really the name of the game when you're racing, especially trying to get a handle on these new regulations.
Oh yeah, I mean 100%. I mean, I've raced these cars in Madrid since the update. It's not fun, to be honest. You can't. It's like I think it was F121, where like if you think that like to the Monza curbs into the Della Regia chicane, if you hit it, your car would go flying. It's a bit like that now, but less extreme. You go fully airborne, and it's not really the place you would want to go airborne, considering that you have literally such tight walls in the mid-ring. But nonetheless, it's a circuit they've got to master. It's a circuit they will be forced to master because we head there in 2 weeks' time, and I'm sure it should be a spectacle. I'm sure of chaos, of good racing. That'll be a question we'll have to find out sooner or later.
We will do Madrid until morale improves, as a good friend of mine would say. But yeah, I mean, Madrid's gonna be a fun one. I think the biggest ones where we're going to see the most amount of action is probably, if I were just to guess, probably going to be Austria, Brazil, and Coda. I think are going to be our top 3 in terms of the most amount of action. Not to slight any of the other tracks. Mexico is going to be great. You got to really watch your tire wear around Mexico. Bahrain is just about staying consistent. Imola is about not getting 90 seconds of track limit violations because of how just overly tight the track limits are around that circuit. So with that being said, Vegas, that one's going to be tough in terms of energy management, because I mean, you got the massive Vegas Strip, which I think is the 2nd longest straight in F1, only behind the one in Baku, which I would love to do Baku again at some point. Maybe next season. We'll have to see. But yeah, overall, we have a very exciting calendar coming up, but you guys are definitely not going to want to miss it. Go ahead and drop a like and subscribe. Turn on post notifications so you don't miss any of the PSGL action, whether it's on PC, PlayStation, F1 through F5, whichever tier you decide to tune on in. We greatly appreciate it. And we're still waiting on the lobby to go ahead and get fired up, but in the meantime, Rio, I'm just going to go ahead and, because I know we're still pretty new to PSGL. It's only our 2nd official race. I think we both did a social race. Oh, that's actually your 3rd official race, my 2nd.
Yeah.
So, out of these tracks right here, which one is your favorite to drive on, and which is your least favorite to drive on? We can exclude Madrid, because I think that's going to be the answer for both of us.
I like Madrid, though. I actually quite like it. I mean, it's not my favorite. It's not my least favorite, though. I'll say, in terms of least favorite, I would probably have to say Imola. I've just never really been a fan of the Imola circuit. In terms of favourite though, there's a couple. I really like Madrid, but it was not up there as the favourite. In terms of racing action, Belgium is one of them. I mean, I did my first race around there yesterday. Belgium is one of them. Silverstone as well. Bahrain, I do enjoy. Vegas is a bit iffy, it's one of them. But if I had to choose one, I would probably say my home race at Silverstone, because it always provides action, and it's a game of management with the battery and everything. Alright,
yeah, I mean, Silverstone is a very good track. Granted, not one of my favorites. It's actually a track I'd consider a bogey track. I haven't been, like, at least in my personal opinion, I haven't been good at Silverstone since F1 23. So it's been a bit of a bogey track in recent titles, but probably not my least favorite though to drive. I think Imola will also be my least favorite out of this selection. My actual least favorite is Suzuka. I just can't get the grips to that track. It doesn't matter what kind of car I drive, where I drive it. Suzuka's just, I just cannot. And everyone may say it's a skill issue, and they're 100% right. I just cannot get the grips with that track. But in terms of my favorite out of this bunch, there's a few of them. I'm going to go ahead and just name off a few of them. The Red Bull Ring, fantastic. Belgium, fantastic. China is a track I used to really dislike until the 2026 regs, because I don't know why.
Exact same with me.
Yeah, the 2026 cars just handle so good around this racetrack.
I know.
Vegas, I love, because, you know, I mean, I grew up watching Hot Wheels Accelerator, so as close as I can get to 300 miles an hour to enter Highway 35, you know, I'm going to take it. But I'd probably have to say Bahrain, actually, might be my favorite out of this bunch to drive on. But there is some very stiff competition.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, without a doubt. I mean, Bahrain is one up there. I brushed over China. I actually really enjoy China. These cars, like you mentioned, they handle so much nicer in these cars. I do believe, though, I'm looking at the lobby. I see Zozo running up, who is the lobby host. So we should be ready to get going for the Belgian Grand Prix qualifying here. This is one of the circuits on the end which has got a higher chance of rain. There'll be no Spa. It's known for its rain. It's in the end, nearing the end point of the summer in a sense, which we say like August as well in the summer. Actually, that's like the midpoint, isn't it, of summer when you're in Europe? But yeah, another look at the track back then. The overtakes, you're going to see overtakes mainly into the delay comp chicane and into the bus stop chicane. Maybe turn one if you have the batteries and then defend on the rundown towards Air Region Radio, but nonetheless, it should be phenomenal Grand Prix action here. You could even see moves into Poo on, because there's so many different battery strategies. Do you focus Sector 1 and Sector 3, or do you split it evenly amongst Sector 1, Sector 2 and Sector 3? Because we know how important the battery is in the rundown towards turn 20. Do you waste your battery in the middle sector, or do you save it for the final sector?
For me personally, granted, I'm not the most skilled driver. I will 100% say I am a career mode merchant, but I will say that I would save it through Sector 2 mostly, because you're going to really need it, especially on the run down to the bus stop chicane, going to Blushmont. You definitely really need that. So that's what I would say in terms of my personal strategy. Now, more skilled drivers, basically everybody in this lobby, will probably go for a bit of a mix when it comes to like their deployment. I think they're probably going to go with that second strategy that you were talking about, Rio, where you're kind of evenly splitting it up all throughout. But we'll see, because you're really going to need it throughout that final sector, and of course obviously that first sector as well, because you have some really good straights. Now, with that being all said, we are just now loading into the session, and we are going to get ready to go racing here at, I almost said Brazil. I don't know why Brazil's on my brain. At Belgium. We're about to go ahead and race here at Spa, and things are going to be amazing around this track. Some good overtakes, some good action, as we are going to go ahead and get ready to rock and roll and get ready to go. And we're just going to go ahead and wait till one of these drivers goes ahead and jumps out on an out lap. And I will give you guys a very brief spoiler. There is no rain at the moment here at Spa. It is currently still just nice and sunny, which I know at Belgium can really go either way. It could either be really, really rainy, or, you know, because I mean, we've seen rain at this track a million times, Rio.
Yeah.
But here, it's as dry as it can be.
Oh yeah, but no, I mean, it's Spa, so you never know what to expect. I believe it's an Alpine actually out of the pit lane first, Marvin Golm or the lobby host on Zozo. We'll find out as they exit the pit lane. It will be Marvin Golm in the ABS team for Alpine, and Marvin Golm in the French outfit will look to set the benchmark here in Spa. Followed behind him is the House of Tashanas in racing in the ET8 team. And the third behind him is the Audi of Louis Welch as well, the Pad Warrior, I believe I heard he was called once as well. So I mean, I say once, he still is, isn't he? He's still one of the quickest on pad in the game. Then it's both Mercedes of Frederick Spiga and Panos Karafalidis. We're missing 2 drivers today. I believe one is a McLaren, and I believe the other, I actually don't know, to be honest. I think it might be a Cadillac. No, it's not a Cadillac. What car are we missing? I have no idea today.
I think
Ferrari,
we're missing.
Ferrari.
Okay. Yeah, you beat me to it. I was actually thinking we were missing a V car, but
yeah, Ferrari and I forget what the other car.
yeah, it's we're missing a Ferrari and a McLaren.
That's it, yeah. So I mean, lap times around Spa, we could lap time probably around 1 minute 44. I don't actually know lap time here. Maybe 1 minute 44, 1 minute 43s, if I had to presume, with drivers of this caliber. Anyway, it will be Marvin up first, then the Audi of Louis Welch, who has actually gone ahead of the Cadillac of, I believe, sorry, not the Cadillac, the Haas of Tashanas. So, what do you reckon the banker times will be here for Spa today, Adric?
I would say probably, I'm actually going to say probably around I'm going to say like low 45s, high 44s for banker laps. I'm going to say that's going to be the main thing because it is the longest lap on the calendar, 7 kilometers around. And here we go. Marvin Golb will go ahead and begin the outlap. Coming now down into La Source. Oh, he misses the apex just a little bit. And then he's going to go ahead and use a good amount of the overtake as he gets ready to go through Air Rouge and Radion. Very nicely done. Going over the curbs. And then he's going to continue to burn it down through Camel and onto the Camel Straight. So, and now he actually lets off of it about halfway through the Camel Straight. The speed is slowly going to go ahead and trickle down a bit. That super clipping that has been a bit infamous in some Grand Prix in the real world. And now he's somewhat employing the strategy that I was talking about a bit earlier on and trying to mostly save through this middle sector. Because you can see now his battery is well in the 60s and 70s. So, very slight deployment, but he will go ahead and back off as he makes his way through the double gauche. And now heading down into the next corner. He's still deploying very little at this stage. He is mostly trying to build up for the run from Stavelot down to the bus stop chicane. An area where you're really going to need that DRS. So, or that straight mode. And we're going to see here as Marvin Golb is going to go ahead and just push on here. He's going to burn that battery, and you see now the reason why he saved this battery going into the sector, because already, barely even halfway through the straight, he is down to hardly any ERS. And I think both of our predictions are going to be blown out of the water as he's going to go ahead and just navigate the bus stop chicane. He's going to burn to the line, and we have some, well, a very low 44 is going to be the banker lap. So I think YouTube chat was right. We actually just kind of lowballed him a bit.
Yeah, exactly. Mercedes up next over the line of the Mercedes. Frederico Spiga to go to the top of the 43.919. Racing Bulls up next over the line. Santa Maria, Almedo, goes up into the top 3. Then it'll be Karafalidis crossing that line. Hitting me a Mercedes 1-2, now up into 4th. Then the Aston Martin blows, blitzes that by a 10th of a second to take provisional pole position here in Spa. Then it will be Santa Maria to cross the line. Santa Maria can start into 4th position. Then we come over the line with Noel Gestrine crossing that line for the Williams team, and he goes to the top as an almighty 43.6. Then over the line, believe we go is Jaron Outcome crossing the line for the Haas team, and he goes slowest of the times we've seen so far. Then it's the other Williams with Casper Yedici over the line, basically Williams 1 and 3. Then it's Sol McLaren and Miguel Rodriguez up into 12th position with a 44.382 miles away from what we've seen so far. The Alpine Zozo goes up into the top 7, and the Aston Martin, I believe the Jello, will be up next, crossing the line, goes into 9th, and the Red Bull behind of Robin Langenbush goes into the top 3. And then I believe it'll be Tom 97 crossing the line to go P13. Then the Cadillac of Kart goes up into the top 9, followed by the Red Bull of IRT Willow, as Willow comes over the line now to set 44.724, 4 tenths away from the second slowest time we've seen so far. And the moment Formula Kai goes to the front row here. Then the final driver to set a time, DB91, coming across the line, and the Ferrari can go to 18th. So the first runs are done, and the top 2 split by half a tenth. It seems to be Null versus Formula Kai for the fight for pole position.
Yeah, Williams and Cadillac really having a pretty good showing. Even Williams in general are having a pretty decent showing here with the banker laps. I mean, P1 to P5 is really nothing to scoff at. as the two teams tied for that constructors lead of Federico Spiga and Panos in the Mercedes versus the Alpines of Zozo, and I'm looking for the other driver. But yeah, the Alpines, I mean, they're tied on points, but right now they're a bit a ways back from the other teams. I think Williams right now might be, just in terms of the combined package, might be the best team in this stage of quali. But as we know, Rio, it is only the opening stage of qualifying here in Belgium. And granted, it is the longest lap in general this season, as this is the longest track on the F1 calendar. At least until they actually add the Nordschleife back in, which is never going to happen. But, so we're going to see probably kind of the rush hour traffic is like what I like to call it, when it's the last minutes of qualifying and then you see everybody and their brother just coming out to really just try to set those final laps, try to get the best of this track rubber. It's going to start a bit earlier than we would have expected in some tracks like China, or like when we go to Silverstone next week. Probably around, I would say, probably about 3 to 4 minutes left to go into session. That's when we're going to really just start seeing everybody really just push to their heart's content in the latter stages of qualifying to try to get that best lap. Some drivers, though, will go ahead and just forget about the trend and just try to give it another go and try to get on a bit of an offset.
Yeah, exactly. But around Spa, you need to consecutively do laps here. You can't just wait in the pit lane for a minute, because then you could probably just sacrifice that final rate. You do like Louis Welch and the Alpine of Marvin Golm, the first two to come out for this second runs of qualifying. It's as soon as you get into the pit lane, you have to hurry back on out. Less than 10 minutes to go in this qualifying session, and Louis Welch, they all should realistically make it just in time for their final run. They will have the out lap, this push lap, the in lap, and then they will go for one final hurrah at Spa. This is the second to last hurrah though around the circuit Spa from this shaft, as Louis Welch on his out lap makes his way through Stavolo here. But the championship leader Federico Spiga currently sat in the top 6, so around just 2.5 tenths away roughly from provisional pole position here, finding himself up the order again. Zozo, who was fighting for pole and had quite a good banker lap last time out in Shanghai, currently sat down in P9, so he's someone who wants to find an improvement. You've got drivers down like IRT Willow and Miguel Rodriguez, who around 7 tenths, well, in Willow's case, a second away from the fastest time we've seen so far. Surely an upgrade to come, as Louis Welch will begin his next push lap into this qualifying session. Both Red Bulls will be the last cars to exit the pit lane as we go into turn 1 with Louis Welch. Battery being depleted momentarily, making sure they have enough to then rise on the run down towards Air Rouge and Radion, and Louis Welch will be surely wanting to improve to at least a top 5 here.
Yeah, Louis Welch is going to go to continue his way up through the mountains here in the Ardennes Forest, as he's going to go ahead and just burn a little bit more battery. He's going to start regenerating now. He'll top out at just over 320 kilometers an hour down the Camel Straight, and now heading to Le Combe and Malmedy as it goes to Brussels. And now you can really start seeing that recharge coming into effect. We'll see if he burns anything really in the middle sector. I mean, running the hot lap mode will just use some of your ERS anyway, but I don't think we're going to see any boost mode really be used at any point throughout this middle sector in quali. In the race, maybe for an overtake, but I think everybody otherwise will just wait for Courbet in the run to Blachemont to really try to make any overtakes on this track. But do get a while before we got to think about overtakes, as the Audi might actually grab a bit of a slipstream from the Cadillac, and the Cadillac's actually off the track. So I'm not sure which Cadillac that was. Still continuing on the lap here with Louis Welch, as he's going to go ahead and continue to push into this third and final sector. Heading through Blanchimont now. We'll see what he can do in the Audi. Is there going to be an improvement? The track will have rubbered in a little bit more, so he will have a bit more of that just grip. And he's into the pit, so he's just not even going to worry about it. So I think maybe that Cadillac might have spooked him here a bit, but yeah, that must have not been a satisfactory lap for the Audi.
Yeah, he was coming to the end of the lap and he wasn't improving through at the end of the middle sector. Someone who is improving though is the championship leader, Federico Spiga, 10th and a half up. making his way towards Blanchimont corner. That 10.5 will be good enough to jump him up to the top 4, but surely some time to find in the final sector if they can set it up all correctly. The lights are blinking, the battery depleted, rise down through the gears, chuck it through the bus stop chicane, a little bit deep for the first one, then gets it hooked up for the second part as they go foot to the floor, crossing the line. Where can Speaker go? Into that top 4. Next up is the Racing Bulls, crossing the line. Salva and Meadow goes to the top 3 then, and is now less than a tenth away from the fastest time of which we have seen so far. Next up, I believe, will be the Haas of Baby Tachales coming across the line. Where can the Haas go? The Haas jumps to the front row with an almighty lap. Does Tachans go? And the next up will be the Mercedes of Panas Karafalidis. Panas Karafalidis goes ahead of their teammate. Mercedes now locking out that 4th row as it stands at the minute. And then it's the man on provisional pole position, Noel Gestrine, coming across the line. And Noel will really improve. He will improve by 96 milliseconds to a 43.547. Tom 97 up next. Tom 97 jumps to 5th position with a lovely lap. Over the line with Zozo, goes up into 4th, and the McLaren up next of Miguel Rodriguez to come over the line. He stays in P19. Next up is the Williams of Catherine Yenicek, and Williams again, Patrick, showing the pace again.
Yeah, they're really showing their hand, but Cart in the Cadillac is going to go ahead and just see what he can do. He was on an improvement. He improves up to 10th, so both Cadillacs are now within the top 10. Cadillac is also really showing their hand here as well. The Alpines seem to be a good chunk of the way ahead of the Mercedes. And as we talked about earlier, they're the teams that are currently leading the Constructors' Championship here in PSGL PCF5. So, with that being said, Marvin Golm is going to invalidate his lap. Zozo is going to be on a bit of a recharge here. We'll see what he can go ahead and do as we're down to the final 5 minutes, and I think we're going to really start seeing some action and some traffic here. Traffic giveth and traffic taketh away, normally a sentiment used in multi-class racing, but here in qualifying, even though this is the biggest track on the calendar, it could still play a huge factor. As we do see Zozo making his way through Sector 2. I don't think he is improving. I could be proven wrong here in a couple of seconds. Yeah, no, he's not improving. I figured he was on a bit of a recharge lap. He's probably just going to try to dive into the pits and then just try to hook things up again for one last push lap. So here we go. It is the driver who actually gave us a bit of a surprise. In the pits he goes. So now we're going to see every driver pretty much just top up on the fuel, go ahead and slap some new tires on, and then just get a move on, because you're going to be running out of time here, especially with Spa being as large as it is. I mean, did you know it used to be an even longer track? It used to be about the same length, or close to the same length as the Nordschleife. It used to be a massive track. The only parts of the track, to my memory, that have stayed the same since it initially opened over a century ago is La Source. I think that's literally, and then the run, I think, to Erosion Radion, I think, has also remained the same just about. So this track has really changed a lot over the decades.
Yeah, I mean, it is mental. Circuits changed over the years. I mean, we're quite grateful to have the circuits we do now in the likes of Silverstone and Spa. So it's nice to still see them on the Formula 1 calendar. There's someone I did want to highlight as well. It's Louis Welch pushing on. There's an Audi who is pushing on. Louis Welch actually is pushing on 4 milliseconds down at the end of the first sector. The man coming down in P16 is finding time. Is hopefully going to be finding time for the end of the middle sector. At the end of it, 53 milliseconds up. Or will they come in to box at the end of that lap? Louis Welch makes their way now down the back straight down towards Blanchimont corner. Louis Welch, will he finish it, or will he, I can't get my words out. Will he finish it, or will he pit from it as he makes his way towards the final 2 corners on the circuit? The bus stop chicane will be up next. Lee boost on smartly, but then peels into the pit lane. Something I did want to highlight, IRT Willow might struggle to get back out here. 2 minutes 40. He's only just being pulled into his garage now. It'll be tight if he can get there, but he's not had the greatest qualifying so far. 9 tenths away from the fastest time, just under 2.5 tenths away from Miguel's time for P19. Willow needs to put a lap out the back to even fight for a chance at P18 here, but we have drivers coming out of the pit lane. The first up will be, I believe, the Alpine of Zozo, the man who was on the front row 1 week ago, and the man who, you could say, would have won if we didn't have that lobby disconnect in Shanghai. But nonetheless, it is one where Zozo, we know he's got pace. Don't take nothing away, of course, from Federico Spiga. He drove a phenomenal race. Zozo as well. But obviously, Spa is a completely different circuit in terms of the battery, with how much high speed there is and low speed. There's a lot more. I mean, China has a lot more technical section. Spa is a lot more of a just battery deployment circuit here. It'll be Zozo up first, then it will be, I believe, the Mercedes of, just speaking about him, the championship leader of Federico Spiga. Closely followed behind him is, I believe, Yaro in the Haas. No, it's not Yaro. It might be the cat. I'm trying to find who it is. Is it Kart? It's not Kart. It's going to be the other Haas. It's the one guy I did not look at. It's the man currently on the front row. Seechuk. Nonetheless, though, it should be Zozo up first as they make their way towards the bus stop chicane. Zozo just doing that brake dragging, and Louis Welch has just made it into sector 1. Louis Welch is going to have to push if he wants to make it to the flag here. 1 minute 5 seconds to go. Louis got to get a move on. Zozo's about to start hurrahing on. For one final time around Spa, he's got a 10th and a half to make up to get provisional pole position to try and force a response from the rest of the field. Exit of turn 1 towards Air Rouge and Radio Wing will run with the Alpine driver towards one of the most famous corners in Formula 1, arguably the most historic in Formula 1. Down through Air Rouge to the top of Radion. Now battery depleting all the way down the Kemmel Straight before you make your way towards the braking zone at the Lake chicane. The first sector is normally all dependent on top speed. End of the first sector, so Zozo 3 milliseconds down as they rotate it through the Lake chicane, but invalidates. Zozo invalidates, so Zozo is 5th on the grid at best. Roll over to the Mercedes, the championship leader, Federico Spiga. I didn't catch this at his first sector as we was watching Zozo, but anyway, through Bruxelles corner towards No Name, where you have the Alpine and Zozo ahead. Maybe getting off some dirty air, but Zozo will now peel out of the way. Towards Pouon corner, we will rise with Spiga. Rotate it, chuck it in through the left-hander. Battery plenty in store. Louis Welch and Willow did not make the flag. So 3 drivers, including Zozo, are not going to be improving on their lap time. Spiga rotates it through the Vanu chicane before they make it towards Stavelo corner here. And then instantly applying the power, the battery will be depleting. All the while down the straight, 21 milliseconds off is the championship leader. Needs to find some more time if they are going to challenge for a position in that top 10. The championship leader will now rise to Blanchimont before the bus stop chicane. Federico Spiga flat through Blanchimont towards the bus stop. Where can the Mercedes man, the championship leader, where can they put their silver arrow? Their teammate currently sat in 11th. They are currently sat in P13. Through the right, through the left, foot to the floor, over the line with Federico Spiga. A lovely final second to go to P7. But what about Tashanes? 29 milliseconds up. Can they dislodge Noel Gestrine as crossing the line? They can't improve. Up next to the Aston Martins, Jello to 14th. Over the line with Zomedo to go to 2nd. Bloom goes up into 3rd. Up next is the Alpine of Marvin Gold to go to 6th. The Racing Bulls of Santa Maria goes to the front row. Over, I believe, to the Formula Kai. Formula Kai doesn't improve. Over to Kart, their teammate. As Kart comes over the line, stays in 12th position. Joran Alcom up next in validation on their lap time. The Sol Ferrari up next to DB91 comes over the line, goes up into 14th. The Mercedes of Panos Karafalides goes into the top 7. Then what about the Williams, the pole sitter, man of provisional pole, a 10th of a second up, crossing the line, but can't find an improvement. Then it'll be the Red Bulls up next, and Casper Energy. Can they dislodge their teammate? Casper goes to the top 3. The McLaren up next of Rigo Rodriguez stays in 19th. The Audis up next, cross the line. Don't think they improve. It is going to be pole position for Noel Gestrine in Spa-Francorchamps, and it's Williams and Racing Bulls at the front of the field.
Yeah, I mean, they locked out both rows here as Williams gets 1-3 and V-Carb getting 2 and 4. So Noel Gestrine ahead of even Santa Maria, and then Casper and Salva Omedo rounding out your top 4. And then it is Blode, Tashanes, Panos, Marvin Gold, Formula Kai, Zozo, Federico Spiga ahead of Tom 97. Kart, DV91, Robin Lagenbush, Yeno, Louis Welch, Yaro, Miguel Rodriguez, and Willow propping up our 20-car field here on the day. What a qualifying session it was. The top 10 separated by just a 10th and a half, and you can even go a bit further down and barely by 1.6 tenths. You could have your top 13. Crazy, crazy, crazy competitive qualifying. But that's what you guys have signed up to see here at PSGL. And in PCF5, It has been a very good start in qualifying. But here's the thing. Qualifying is one thing. The race is where the big points are scored. So, I mean, you can qualify pole position and still come away basically empty-handed. I mean, we kind of saw that last week. Salvo Meta had pole position and he just... Oh, sorry, it was one of the V-Cars. I think it was actually Ivan Santamaria, actually, that had pole. And unfortunately just got tangled up into some lap 1, turn 1 chaos. We might see it here going into La Source. La Source is a very tight hairpin for the first corner. And then it's going to be a very tight run through Eau Rouge, Raidillon. Expect a lot of overtaking in the opening stage. Everybody's going to have full battery. And they're going to go ahead and push it to the limits. And see how they can set the tempo very early on. They want to set that tempo, get into rhythm, and then go ahead and just try to carry that momentum through to the rest of the race. And Rio, as we approach the race start, what do you think the strategy is going to be like here today?
I mean, also we had the compound difference. I don't know. I think it is still the 2-step difference. It could be. Obviously, it's always going to be medium hard, medium. Does anyone go brave and maybe try medium soft? It will be quite the risky one, but nonetheless, it's possible. I think we'll see a majority of hard medium. If I had to predict, I think the hard tyres, they prefer to use them early, so they have the grippier tyre for the later stages of the race. Because obviously, hards, they become better as you go out through the stint. With medium, you get the pace advantage in the early stage of the race, but then as that stint goes on, your tyres do just die.
Seems like a good strategy call, I would say. I mean, the one stop is going to be pretty ideal here. It's not generously high on tire wear. It's not like Shanghai last week where the tire wear is insanity, or not like Barcelona as well where it's another tire muncher of a circuit. This one's pretty tame in terms of the tire wear. But I think in general, the one stop is probably going to be the go-to. We still have to consider the potential of rain. Haven't heard anything regarding weather, but if it does rain, which sometimes in Spa it does, it is known for being a track that likes to rain a bit, kind of like Florida, where it just rains whenever it feels like it. But at that stage, you're just... I mean, that whole rain just throws the whole strategy through a loop. And I don't think we're going to have it. I think it's going to be a dry race all the way throughout. And I think that it's going to be a very, very good time here. Very good race indeed. Like we had at Shanghai. Hopefully this one does go the distance. And 22 laps of the longest track on the calendar. 19 corners. It is expected to be an absolute barnstormer of an event here. And I mean, it's round 3 officially, but technically it is round 2. So we're going to just see how this one pans out. I think the start is going to be very crucial here. I think your start is going to be just rapid. And if you get a bad start, it can really set a bad rhythm for your race. And you're going to really just struggle to try to make those ends meet. And here we go. Over to you, Rio, for the race start.
Thank you very much. The Belgian Grand Prix. 5 lights on, ahead of us all with F5, and there's no more waiting. The racing is underway as we head towards the Source corner. It seems to be good stuff from gesturing. The Williams looking to pounce through turn 1. We go on the inside. Goes the Haas, trying to make the moves. We head through turn 1. Santa Maria sails through into the lead of the Belgian Grand Prix. On the run down to Eau Rouge, Salvo Romero and Kasper Ginnicek did racing balls making moves. The Williams are losing positions as we go through Eau Rouge side by side behind between the Aston Martin and the Haas. And then we'll make the run down towards the Lake of Chicane. And the Racing Bulls looking at both, pounce on the pulses and Noel gesturing, free and wide, in towards the Lake of Chicane side by side, under brake and we go, on the inside the Williams will go, the inside will turn to the outside, as then the Williams will get shuffled out wide, and now the Racing Bulls of Olmedo, onto the gravel, goes Olmedo, the Williams shoving him right, through goes Ginnicek on the inside, to get second position, Tashanas as well, providing that, on the inside Formula Kai as well, looking to make the move past Block. followed as they run side by side through No Name. Off the road goes to Cadillac, Formula Kai, dropping down a couple of positions here. Formula Kai down to 14th as we head through Pool 1 corner. Around the outside goes Kart, trying to make the move on the Ferrari as we make our way. Now down towards the Vanya chicane. DV91 and Blode running wheel to wheel. The outside line for the Ferrari. Medium first the hard tie. The inside line will then favour the Ferrari who makes the move. Kart as well looking to make moves. Omedo and Tashanis making battles as well. Omedo went wheel to wheel with Tashanis, and Omedo is able to get that fourth position back. We make the run down towards the bus stop chicane, but it's Santa Maria who leads. The pole sitter shuffled down into P3 as here comes Tashanis, fighting back around the outside of Blanchimont to the inside for the bus stop chicane. Side by side they will run, under braking the outside line for the Racing Bulls and then favour the inside line as we run round the final corner to start lap number 2. It's Santa Maria who leads from Kasper Jelecik.
Yeah, that is a very good run there. A bit of a trigger one. Oh, there's big contact. And that is going to be an Alpine out of this one. Zozo is out. And Zozo is out. How is that not a safety car is beyond me. I know there's a few cars that lost end plates. I think Blode in the Aston Martin did lose an end plate earlier on. And so we'll just have to see. And then Salvo Meadow and Ivan Santamaria losing positions as Casper does retake the lead, bringing Williams back to the top step of the podium as it sits. An absolute chaos happening here at Spa. And that's a very unfortunate retirement from a driver that we know has a lot of pace in Zozo. We know Zozo is very quick, but wheel to wheel now. Salvo Meadow and Tashanis going wheel to wheel. A little bit of contact, a little bit of carbon fiber flying off around here. And so these drivers are really just giving no quarter. They are absolutely duking it out, fighting for every possible position. Noel G-String gonna go ahead and try to reel in the V-carb and try to make it a Williams 1-2 here. It has been absolute insanity here in the opening stages of this Belgian Grand Prix. And what a race we are having here today. And Federico Spiga, who is our current championship leader, chasing down Marvin Golm. Now remember, Alpine and Mercedes tied for the lead in the Constructors' Championship coming into today, 16 points apiece. And we're going to see if there's going to be any further changes up. Oh, Marvin Golm thinking about it, but around the outside is going to be Federico Spiga. He tries to send it, outside becomes the inside, and he will not quite get the position as Casper does set the fast lap, and then Cart will set it, but then just more overspeed from the Mercedes of Federico Spiga, and Blode is out. Blode is called in the pits. He had the front wing damage from earlier, so that's his race done and dusted. DV91 also retiring from the session, so I think he also had a bit of damage on that Ferrari. And Louis Welch trying to go ahead and go wheel to wheel. It is Yeno and Louis Welch who are separated by less than a tenth of a second. It's going to be some overspeed again for the Aston Martin, and we are just seeing battles on every inch of this racetrack. Back up to the front. The Williams and the V-Carbs are still going at it. There is no end in sight to this battle. But with these guys battling so much, Tashanis and Federico Spiga are in the mix, and that's a dive and a half from Tashanis, but he goes so deep. It's a bit of a wiggle there for Federico Spiga. Oh my lord, there is so much happening here that you can't even keep track of it all.
The inside goes Marvin Gum on the inside of Bill Cullen. Was a lovely move to get past Tashanis. Marvin Gum looking to pounce on that duel that happened between Omedo. As for the second position, it's side by side and Noel gesturing the pole sitter. Williams 1 and 2 in Spa Francorchamps. Williams have two cars leading the way now. Santa Maria has been passed by gesturing as they make their way now through the Curberpool Frere on the rundown towards Blanchimont corner. The question is now who's got more battery on the rundown towards the bus stop chicane. Santa Maria might be getting as well, but you see the rear light flashing. Noel gesturing will be looking for the move on their teammate. The teammates are going to get backed up into each other here. Santa Maria will maybe look to pounce on the outside line. They might run side by side as we go under braking and towards the final couple of corners. Nothing doing there. Further behind Formula Kai, making some very steady progress already. Back up into the top 9 here in the final corners, into the pit lane. Tashanis into the pit lane and probably going to retire with the way he took that pit entry, and he does. Tashanis out of the Grand Prix, and that's another one. We're on start of lap number 4, and 4 cars have already bit the dust. It promotes the likes of Formula Kai, Langerbusch, Karen Leaders, Tom 97, Yellow, Louis Welch, Willow and Miguel Rodriguez, and now we climb the hill and head down towards the Lecombe chicane, and we could see battles against the second in the race. Side by side, Santa Maria looking for the inside line on Null as we go on the braking towards the start of the middle sector. Defensive shake thrown from Null. Side by side, further behind between Federico Spiga and Marvin Gold, all the way to sail through goes the Mercedes, then the inside line for the Alpine, then the Cadillac car will maybe look to make the move, but that was a phenomenal move by the championship leader, trying to make up positions. Now he's got his sights on trying to catch up to the rear of this train. Further behind, Carafelinas going Wilson with Langenbush that gets the inside line for No Name Corner, and there's a medium tyre prevailing, but then on the run down towards Pouon Corner, the inside line back then for Carafelinas, but Carafelinas will bail out of it and will settle down for 10th position. Those hard tyres though, Patrick, they will come into a world of their own as the tyres do, as the race does go on. As Kart, you can see the highest tyre runner of Null is absolutely loving life. He's the only one in the top 9 to be on the hards, and he's showing such exquisite pace right now.
Yeah, and I mean, I know hearing just hearing the numbers alone of, you know, oh, the mediums are falling off after only 3 laps, that's kind of rough. But you gotta kind of take into context that this is a big track, and I mean, a lap around here is sometimes 2, maybe even 3 laps at other circuits. So we are seeing these tires just really hold on, and just sometimes even just being gentle on the tires can really help you out. Just something simple. And I know there's been a lot of talk and a lot of, I'm just going to outright say, slander against my GOAT, Mark, the engineer that you'll hear in career mode and even in your in-game races and such. But he just says, as we do see Federico Spiga, oh, here's a 3-way fight between Kart, Spiga, and Goal. This is going to be a fun fight. They say that sometimes, you know, going flat out isn't the fastest way around, but don't tell these guys that's Federico Spiga. He's got the battery, he's got the power, he's got the speed, he's got the move. He's back up into the top 5, and this midfield fight here for the top 5 is getting extraordinary. As we see now, Kart going on the defense. Kart now just holding on, trying to make sure that Marvin Golem does not get this overtake. His race may depend on whether he gets the overtake or not. Everybody in between Noel Gistrain and Panos currently running the medium tires. And they're going to continue to try to use this tire for everything that's worth. They paid for the whole tire. They're going to try to use the entire tire as they continue their epic journey throughout the Ardennes Forest. And what a battle we've seen here so far just in today alone. It has just been absolute cinema just up and down the field. The top 4 have spread out a little bit now by about 3/10 in between the 2 Williams, and then to Ivan Santa Maria just a bit further back. And then it is going to be Salvo Meadow thinking about just trying to reel it in and try to close into gaps here. He's gotten pretty close to his teammate, as these drivers have gone pretty close as well. The bus stop is really good for backing in drivers, and I just saw from Langenbush down, there is a huge train. I want to go ahead and just kind of see this one on board. I mean, you could just see the massive train here just forming with these drivers as they make their way through Erouge and Radion. But a bit further up, it is the V-Carbs trying to pounce, trying to get past Casper here. The 2 V-Carbs trying to work in tandem. And are we going to see a move now coming into Lecombe? Doesn't look like that's going to be the answer. They're going to just wait it out.
3 wide behind.
Oh, and 3 wide. Yeah, you're right. Woo.
Oh, well, that was a bit of lag there. Langenbush has spun the car. Langenbush is gone. I think it must have been a bit of lag there, because he just teleported away from the battle. Sorry to butt in there ahead of you, Patrick, but it was 3 wide under braking through the Lecombe chicane. I think it was top 97 Formula Car and Robin Langenbush, I believe. Maybe it was Carafelinas as well. Maybe involved. But yeah, change of positions there. Langenbush coming out worse of that. He's now dropped to the rear of this train. But that whole train is trying to work together to catch up to the rear of Marvin Gold, who is in that train, is fighting for 5th position here. And the front of the build of the hard tyres are now coming into their own, as Noel Gesturing is starting to pull away from Casper Yildichik, but surely trying to keep their teammate within that 1 second window to ensure that Casper has that overtake motive so he can keep deploying and recharging that battery at a sufficient rate. Further behind, Kart and Golm seem to be very close on the rundown towards Blanchimont corner. Golm looking for the outside line, but on this occasion will not be close enough. But maybe in the second phase, the straight mode will then being able to towards the bus-stop chicane we go on this occasion. Not close enough at the front of the field though. The gap between the two Williams is more 2 seconds into the pit lane. Yedachik was quite the early pit stop on lap number 6. Heading on to lap 7 is Casper. The first of the front runners to pit into the pit lane. Following him as well is Salvo Romero in the Racing Bull. So, the Williams and the V-Car, the first 2 drivers to come into the pit lane, along with Robin Langenbush, who you felt had to really do that as Formula Kai, making the move on Geno as they run wheel to wheel towards Air Rouge and Radion. Aston Martin vs Cadillac. The Cadillac comes out ahead. Formula Kai has got the position, but then as we climb the hill, has Formula Kai got the battery to defend this one. Further ahead, Tom 97 gets past Carafanides. Geno gets back past Formula Kai in a straight fight, not even a contest between Aston Martin and Cadillac as we go on the braking through the Lake of Chicane. Tom 97 had a Carafanides, but then it's Geno ahead of Formula Kai through the chicane towards Bruxelles corner. We now rise Noel Street as Dor was got out. He's got that 1 second gap ahead of even Santa Maria, and Noel just needs to keep in his rhythm here. His pace has been superlative from what we have seen so far. Good news for Yedachik and Olmedo. I say that the gap between Yedachik and Olmedo is 7.7 seconds. What on earth has happened down at the rear? Because Olmedo is now 7.8 seconds away from what could be the net lead in the Grand Prix.
If I were to play detective here, I would say maybe just a bit of cold tires and a little bit of a spin. It's usually a bit of a more moderate temperature around here, around Spa. So, with that being said, it's not a scorcher like Abu Dhabi, Qatar, many of the Middle Eastern races and such, or even the Austrian Grand Prix this year in F1. But oh, look at this. Is he going to get 2 for the price of 1? Marvin Golm, he's going for gold as he goes out and makes 2 for the price of 1. Ivan Santamaria is in the pits, but so is Marvin. That was crucial to make the dive into the pit lane ahead of those 2, of the head of the Cadillac and the Mercedes. Federico Spiga, championship leader, up into 2nd position. About 4.5 seconds away from Noel Gistrine, excuse me, as he makes his way now coming through. And this is a very good run here from the Williams. I mean, those hard tires, like you said earlier, really coming alive. A bit further back, it is Yeno and Tom 97, Aston Martin versus the Audi. The Aston Martin is going to win that particular battle. But look at that, a bit further back, it is Yarrow and Panos having a absolute street fight here. Louis Welch also in the mix as well, as Louis Welch actually seems to be a bit more of a direct competitor at this stage compared to Panos for Yarrow, as Yarrow will want to try to claw that gap back, but he's got to check his mirrors because there is a very rapid Alpine making his way through. Let's check about the positions that these drivers have actually gained or lost. I mean, granted, this is a bit of a skewed statistic due to a lot of pit stops happening and such, so these aren't true positions. But a lot of these drivers have made some pretty decent ground here at the early stages of the Grand Prix. And we're going to just see just how these drivers continue on. Yeno has actually caught the back of Federico Spiga at this stage of the race. So we'll see. And we have to remember now, Federico Spiga's tires are starting to fade away. He is on the mediums compared to Yeno, who is on that white-walled hard compounded tire. Is this when Spiga comes into the pits? Yep, Spiga's into the pits. So I think that's pretty much everybody who started on the mediums now into the pits. But Federico Spiga, 10 seconds for speeding in the pit lane. It's been a tough day in the office for the championship leader, and this day just goes from bad to worse.
Yeah, that's going to be a real kick in the leg. That Federico Spiga's now got to have an almighty race to even get a point here in Spa. Nonetheless, though, your net race leader, Casper Yedachik, has got the gap to Ivan Santamaria now as he makes his way towards everything. Right, further ahead, though, Tom 97 getting closer to the rear of Yellow, but not close enough. Carafan leaders as well. It seems to be the one putting more pressure on. Louis Welch as well is getting closer to the rear of Van Houtgem as they go on the break in. Welch not close enough. So make that move on Van Houtgem as they go through the Lake Comp chicane. Rodriguez as well seems to be getting close as well. Willow still going on that medium combat tyre. Behind Spiga, the championship leader, makes the move on Marvin Gold and makes the move all the way around the outside. It's a lovely move on the Cadillac of Car. So 2 positions done in a matter of meters there for the championship leader. At the front of the field though, 5.6 seconds split the top 2 as Carafalides continuing to now, actually no, Tom 97 got ahead of Carafalides, I believe. I don't know, I think it was Tom 97 that was
the high. No, it wasn't. Sorry, Tom 97's lost some time. I'm going insane. Sorry. Let's go
Oh.
over ahead. Louis Welch makes Louis Welch and Rodriguez running side by
Oh!
side into the wall.
Oh
To the
no!
wall.
That is Miguel Rodriguez. His McLaren has dislocated a tire, and that one will definitely have to go to the stewards there. Oh, that was drama. More drama happening here in round 3. And yeah, there's massive wing damage on Louis Welch, so he'll have to come into the pits and either get a new wing or just call it there. And wow, that was a rough one. Formula Kai a bit further back now, trying to chase down Robin Lagenbush. And yeah, Willow's in the pits now, finally shedding those aging medium tires. Probably old enough at this stage to qualify for a senior citizens discount. As Panos is going to go ahead and continue. Panos Karfalidis trying to go ahead and just trying to reel in Tom 97 here. And we'll see if he can go ahead and do just that. The two rivals, the two German automotive giants in Formula 1. It's been a rivalry over a century in the making. And Panos is going to just make that look easy. He had more battery. He got the move done on the Tom 97. Very well done there as they continue to make their way through the Ardent Forest. But man, we've had 5 retirements at this stage of the race, and it is just unfortunate just how just attrition has really just played a huge factor in this race here, Rio. And I mean, you wouldn't think it, but I mean, Spa is a track known for its rate of attrition. I mean, that's across multiple series. It's known for F1, World Endurance. It used to be part of, I think, MotoGP's calendar for a while. This track has always been a tough one on man and machine.
Oh yeah, well, 100%. It's arguably this is one of the hardest circuits to master in the world because of just the nature of the length. I believe 7.004 kilometers in circuit length for here. Formula Kai into Lake Shane got past Robin Langenbush. Yeah, that was interesting. It seems to be that Miguel Rodriguez and Louis Welch just tire hooked and ran off the road together, so that's really hampered the chances of Louis Welch of getting a good result here. The net race leader, Kasper Jedicek, is only 2.4 seconds from the Pad Warrior, so Louis Welch really got to lock in, you could say, for the rest of this stint. At the front of the field though, Jello had gained 2 tenths on that previous lap. He's now, Noel has taken that personally, he's now pulled away an extra 3 tenths of a second here. Louis Welch will continue on, but surely by the end of this lap, Louis Welch would have been caught by Kasper Jedicek. Further ahead though, Tom 97, Panos Karfalidis and Yellow, that is the 3-car train for what at the minute is second, third and fourth at Salvador Meadow. So it's a brand new fastest lap of this race. Momentarily, before Formula Kai beats it with a 46.85 as we climb the hill though, and actually head down towards the Lake of Chicane, which Geno, he will continue to do this train. Santa Maria though will be pushing all the while, getting close to the rear of Jedicek and Santa Maria, the net race leaders, going wheel to wheel to the Lake of Chicane. Jedicek will play smartly. Jedicek will yet wave on Santa Maria, and they go through the Lake of Chicane with Santa Maria now your net race leader. And you've got to think that could be crucial here, because whoever leads here on this particular lap, this is who will be first to face the old hard tyre runner of Louis Welch. Through Bruxelles, through towards No Name, will Santa Maria try and make the move towards Pillon Corner. The battery will be depleting all the while, but Louis Welch might be trying to do a job here to maybe try and help Tom 97 get into this fight later on in the race when he gets that medium compound tyre. Louis Welch maybe just trying to hold up these guys to ensure that Tom's got a chance of catching up. Santa Maria will try and sail around the outside. Louis Welch doing some good defensive driving. Minor contact as a tyre got dipped into the grass there. This is phenomenal. Defending. It was around the outside. Jedicek will sail past the Racing Bulls, and the Williams of Kasper Jedicek gets a phenomenal move. But back comes Santa Maria on the exit of the curve of Paul Frere. The inside line for Kasper as they run towards Blanchimont Corner. Santa Maria as well will look for this move as we run flat through Blanchimont Corner. The outside line of Louis Welch actually gets that position back again towards the bus stop chicane. We will run, and through goes the Williams of Kasper Jedicek, your net race leader, gets past Louis Welch, and now it's up to Santa Maria to now try and get past the Audi as we head to turn number 1. It won't be turn 1. You would have to think that it would be in towards the Lake of Chicane, head through La Source before we make our run towards Air Rouge and towards Radion here. Louis Welch in a much more better battery position in comparison to Kasper Jedicek.
Yeah, but here's the thing. Kasper Jedicek, he got that move done at a crucial time, but look at this. It's about to go 3 wide on the Camel Straight. Ivan Santa Maria does go ahead and get the move done. And that is going to be a good position there. But around the outside, despite the fact he's missing the end plate, he goes off the racing circuit. Louis Welch tries to get that position back. And Louis Welch will drop the position. He has the missing end plate from that moment earlier with Miguel Rodriguez. And Kasper Jedrzejczyk is going to go ahead, or Jedrzejczyk, excuse me, is going to go ahead and continue on in this battle. And this is going to be a strong fight here, as they're leaving nothing to chance. This is the battle. And I mean, this is for the net race lead, like Rio said a few moments ago. We'll have to try to pick a moment. I did see that he disconnected. We'll have to try to pick a moment and try to grab him back in. Right now, this battle for the net race lead is going to be a very crucial one. Jumping up to the front of the track, it is Jena versus Panos Karafalidis, trying to go ahead and see if the Mercedes can make a move. He's got some pretty decent battery now as it sits. So Panos is going to try to push on, and really he wants to make these positions because this will be crucial for when he makes his stop on a hard tire. But a bit further back, it is still going to be battling, and Louis Welch actually gets passed up now by Frederico Spica and Cart get past the damaged Audi. The Audi is trying. I mean, you got to give him an A for effort, because he is absolutely hustling the Audi around despite the fact he is missing such a crucial end plate moment. And that is just beautiful, beautiful battling. We're going to try to go ahead and get Rio back in as quick as humanly possible so we don't distract from the beautiful action happening here on track. There you go. That was quick enough, but just in time as Louis Welch does go ahead and get past Cart. And I mean, oh, but he's got to miss the chicane again. He's going to get track limits. I think he's already got track limits. He's got to be at least really close to a track limit violation. He's got to get a penalty here. So he's just missing the end plate, so steering is a bit difficult. Side by side now is going to be the Audi and the Cadillac. Draw, man, a bit of a snap there for Cart. He's on a bit of a snap, a little bit of touch there. Once again, more wheel hooking. And Louis Welch, I mean, I swear the Audi is made of a magnet for the amount of contact that he has had here this race. And I mean, sometimes I mean, you can always throw the old phrase around of Rubbins racing and such, but it's been a lot here today. As look at this, it's a three-way fight here. Marvin Golm, Louis Welch, and Cart are also trying to fight it out. Cart's trying to get two for the price of one. Can the Cadillac go ahead and make the moves necessary? Can he use that American muscle to muscle his way up? Panos and Tom making the pit stop now. It's going to go through wide. Is it the bus stop? Is it going to be around the outside for Marvin Golm? And Marvin Golm from way back, from a zip code back, gets two for the price of one. What a maneuver for the Alpine. Two for the price of one. Going into the bus stop. That bus is not stopping. Marvin Golm up in the 7th.
Yeah, phenomenal move there from the Alpine. Momentary disconnect there. I do apologise on my end. And just another inconsistency. But towards their region running we go. Cart basically now pushing Louis Welch as they climb the hill.
Ooh, Kasper Frederico
looking to make the move. Yeah, towards the lake option can we go. Kasper Jedrzejczyk defending in towards the lake. Further behind though, Louis Welch making that move back past Salvador Meadow. Now trying to make the move back past the Alpine all the way around the outside. The hard tyres, different ages there as Louis Welch. Ooh. The anti-contact between Salvador Meadow and Louis Welch, and they tie hook again. And on the rundown towards Brazil corner, deep.
Oh, there's an end plate.
The Cadillac, the end plate gone for Salvador Meadow. The Cadillac getting through as well.
Oh.
Contact round. Round goes O'Meadow, spinning the car towards No Name, and that's another incident between Louis Welch and another car. And it's again just a question of what happened there. The Racing Bulls just lost the car after contact, and it's now left the Racing Bulls stranded in last place. And Louis Welch, then one of four drivers, still here to pit in this race. We're on lap number 14. When does Noel peel into the pit lane? Controversy again involving Louis Welch, as Louis Welch is letting now, I believe, just let through his teammate there in towards Stavolo O'Connor. But once again, Louis Welch will continue to hold up these cars as we run down towards Blanchimont corner. Here we go. Once again, Formula Kai, Langenbush and Willow all are dueling away towards Blanchimont corner. The Red Bull will look around the outside. Formula Kai will go for the switchback through Blanchimont towards the bus stop chicane. We run side by side. Side into the bus stop chicane we go. Under braking, Louis Welch is able to defend this position. He's just going on and on and on is Louis Welch. Further up the road, Marvin Gold. Now on the rear of Carters, we head into turn number 1. On that occasion, not close enough. Further behind, Formula Kai and Louis Welch running wheel to wheel. Louis Welch trying to fight this one on the outside line. Deep goes the Audi, and that allows the Red Bull Langenbusch. Can Willow as well. Sail on through. Salvador Meadow in the pit lane for Titus, our 6th retiree, as they make our run down towards the lake. She came further up the road. It might be 3 wide because Spiga, Jedicek, and Santa Maria all doing battle here side by side. Around the outside goes Santa Maria to hold that position. Top 97 gets past Marvin Gone along with Karp. Then further behind, Langenbusch as well doing battle as we go through the lake. So the Red Bulls dueling away. Formula Kai dueling away as well through the Blake chicane. Further up the road again, Santa Maria dueling away with Federico Spiga, and Santa Maria loses out to the championship leader. Tom 97 now getting past Karp, running outside at No Name Corner with a bold and a brave and a brilliant dance pass. Here comes the Mercedes of Carafalides into Puon Corner. Tom 97 concedes the pair of them as through goes Karp, through goes Carafalides. They both get past the Audi, but then on the run down towards the Vanya chicane, Tom 97 looking to dance and sail all the way around the outside of Carafalides, and Tom 97 gained 1, lost 2, got on back again.
Around the grid in 80 seconds is going to be the story of that man right there. Just absolute battling a bit further up the front. Federico Spiga and Casper just battling it out, fighting for position. Williams versus Mercedes. Mercedes, the current Constructors' Championship leader, tied with Alpine. Right now, they're in a better spot compared to the Alpines. They did lose an Alpine in the opening lap of the Grand Prix. As Yeno is going to finally make a pit stop, so everybody is pitted. I was going to say, except for Louis Welch, but Louis Welch has also made the pit stop here. So everybody has now officially made their stop. Actually, Noel Gistrine has actually not made a pit stop yet. He is the only driver, and he's got a 17-second gap. And actually, let's go ahead and pull this up real quick. Federico Spiga and Casper are going to go ahead and battle out. And this is going to be a good fight here. Federico Spiga, he does have the 3-second pen, though. And I think, if my math is going to serve me correctly, is Yeno and Car trade position again. Look at this! Look at this 5-way fight. And that is something you never hear normally, that cars are just... 5 cars are all fighting at the same time, but welcome to PSGL PCF 5. It is always battling here, and the battles do not stop, can't stop, won't stop. And back to what I was going to say earlier, Noel Gistrine, I think is going to come out just maybe behind Ivan Santamaria, maybe, depending on how much he can keep the pace going on the hard tire. But this does actually raise the question, is he going to go from hard to soft tire maybe? Because I mean, there's only about 7-ish laps to go around this track, about 7.5 give or take, including the lap we are currently on. But yeah, here he is, he's in the pits now. Federico Spiga now making his way through Blanchimont. Where is he going to go ahead and end up here? He's making his way to the chicane now. Where is he going to go compared to, oh, Noel, I think bit of a slower stop than he might have wanted. But here comes the Mercedes coming down. You can see him on the right hand side of your screen. You can see them going side by side. It's going to be a tight run. It's going to be tightly knit, but somehow, some way, he makes it past. He is still ahead of Federico Spiga, but Spiga's going to have a faster run coming through La Source now through Erouge and Radion. Now onto Camel before heading onto the Camel straight. The Mercedes driver does not have a lot of battery to play with. Neither does the Williams. And the Williams is going to kick it into overdrive. And he will go ahead and hold the lead. But here's the thing that's going to really help Noel's case. He's got those fresher tires. He's got the better tire. Those brand new mediums are going to be quicker. And if he can build out that advantage when that tire wear crossover rate happens, where the mediums fall out of favor into the hard tires' favor, then this, I mean, it just has all the makings to be a very tight, cinematic, hard knock finish as drivers continue to just, I mean, they are fighting for every position. Normally, how races do tend to go is that you have a high start point, and then things kind of slow down in the middle, and then pick back up at the end. No, we've never hit that dip even once. We have just been full throttle all the way through. And honestly, I wouldn't trade it for anything. You could not make me trade a race like this.
Without a doubt. That's a superb stint from Noel. 8-lap overcut, and he comes out in the lead of the Grand Prix. Superb. It reminds me of what we saw from Jarno Otmir when he went so long in the medium to completely side through. Yellow and Tom 97 run well, and Jello gets through up into the 5th position. Again, another driver on those, another 2 drivers on that alternate strategy, Yellow and Tom 97. They are now trying to hunt down Santa Maria and Yellow Cheek as Jello actually set the fastest lap of the race. They're both flying as they both try to now set off their sights on Santa Maria, Yellow Cheek and Spiga. We know they're going to get the position on Spiga because of his 10-second penalty. Further behind, Formula Kai running wheel to wheel. Robin Langenbush and Formula Kai only in top position. Seems a bit underwhelming from what I'd seen from him in the early stages of the Grand Prix. Down for a top of radio, actually towards the lake up to Ken. We go with Top 97, gaining on the rear of Jenna as we go on the break. And further behind, Marvin Gom gets the move on car. As we go through the lake up to Kane, Noel hasn't exactly pulled away, has he, from Frederick Castigo as yet, but this is the sector where if he was to pull away, this is where Noel would get that gap. We head through No Name, was the race leader. That gap now 1 second. This is where those medium tyres will favour the Williams man as we go towards Puglia. 1.3 seconds. It is that gap now. Noel surely going for the fastest lap of that race as they head towards the Vanish Chicane. It's going to be Noel who will continue to lead. Frederick Caspiga now starting to stay on the rear as Caspiga seems to be in a fine position to make it a Williams 1 and 2 here in Spa. Franca shoves to Santa Maria as well. We'll be looking to take that final podium position. We'll be looking for second, I believe, at most because Noel District is just absolutely flying here in Spa. Further behind, Tom 97 has lost a second to Geno here as they make their way on the rundown towards the bus stop chicane. Tom just draining that battery as they make their way then through Blanchimont corner towards the bus stop chicane, and there they make our way towards the final corners. Tom is back within that second window because of the difference in the battery carrier for lead this as well. Now closing up to the rear as they come across the line. Noel doesn't set the fastest lap of the race, but set a superlative 1 minute 46, I believe it was. They applied the power on the exit of turn number 1. That gap now 1.2 seconds from Ricky Spiga, now pulling away from Yedashik as well, but that 10 seconds is really going to hamper the championship leader. And you've got to say, fair play to Spiga. He's putting a stallion effort here in Spa.
Oh yeah, the pace is unquestionable from Federico Spiga. He's got the pace, but he was just a bit too quick coming into the pits, and that pit lane penalty, I mean, I've been commentating on F1 since I started like a little bit after F1 23 came out. I have never seen so many track limit violations until 25 came out. 25 just seems that every single, like, it's kind of like Monaco 2026. You breathe 0.1 over and you get slammed. And I mean, that's the rules. That's how everything is set up. That's just how the code of the game is set. As Louis Welch will pick up a time penalty for a track limit violation. So that's 3 seconds. Unfortunately for him, that doesn't really, or unfortunately, depending on if you want to look at it from a glass half full or glass half empty perspective, that's not going to hurt his race at all, as he is currently about 30 seconds, almost 30 seconds away from Formula Kai, who is doing battle with Robin Lagenbush as they continue to just fight their way through Sector 2, coming now, making their way down to Campus and Stavelot, and jumping back up here to our podium position here. Ivan Santa Maria has been all over the back of Casper. And Casper, from a good ways back. He's going to send it. Does he make it stick? Oh, you're going to see that Casper's going to try to run him wide to try to put him in the runoff. He will lose a bit of speed, but I think he did keep that overtake. So, a bit of slight lockup there from the Williams man just up front. And Casper, I mean, he doesn't even need to do anything silly. He just needs to just continue on and just stay put and really just focus on Ivan, because I mean, it's, unless he does something crazy, it's gonna be hard for Federico to turn that 10 second into anything. But look at this, Ivan Santa Maria coming around town. Is he gonna make it? No, he decides just to wait it out through Lecombe and Malmedy. But boy, oh boy, I mean, with 2.5 laps to go, this one, whew, my only regret is I don't have popcorn with me.
I was just taking a look at the positions gained, and Federico Spiga's gained 9, Willow's gained 9, Geno in 5th position has gained 11 positions. The Aston Martin man is having a superb Grand Prix here. The charge up to the rear of these podium contenders has halted a bit as the mediums do begin to fade away. But some of the mediums who will not be fading away, Noel in the Williams, the pole sitter, showing superlative pace. Williams currently on course for what will be a 1-2 finish here because of Speaker's penalty. Speaker's going to drop down maybe around, I'm actually going to try and work this out quickly. As we head on to the penultimate lap with Noel, the gap will be, if we take a look at Speaker's 3.13 seconds from the leader, he will drop to P9. So the championship will get 2 points, and in a total fight which could be close, those 2 points will be crucial.
Yeah, every point matters when it comes to the race here, or just to this championship. It's going to be a very competitive championship all the way throughout. So every singular point is going to go ahead and matter around this racetrack, around any track for that matter. We have a lot of races on the calendar. We talked about it earlier on, but I mean, you can really just lose a championship off of just races like this. But we cannot take away from the pace that Federico Spiga has had here today. He has put in a champion level effort, and I think that he will bounce back next week even stronger. But look at this. Ivan Santamaria, the true battle for P2 is still raging. It is still red hot. As Ivan Santamaria is trying to hold on. Casper sent to move on the inside, coming through Brussels. And remember, we don't really see a ton of overtakes really attempted in Sector 2 in early stages. But on the penultimate lap of what has already been a fantastic Grand Prix, these drivers are giving everything in their willpower to try to go ahead and get these positions. Right now, as it sits, it is going to be a Williams 1-2 once Federico Spiga takes the pen. But otherwise, it has been a beautiful Grand Prix. We have seen every bit of action, and I mean, just looking at that positions gained, it tells you that this has just been a battle of attrition. A bit further back, Robin Langenbush is going to try to fight with Yarrow, as Yarrow van Hagem is going to try to hold on here, trying to stick it, but we come around to the final lap of the Grand Prix. Ivan Santamaria and Casper still going wheel to wheel, coming through the bus stop chicane. Who's going to win this battle? And oh my, and was that, no end plates are removed yet, but whew, I mean, honestly, at this rate, the end plates might just come off of this one, Rio.
Yeah, without a doubt, through the source we will go. It's going to be a last lap shootout for the podium positions and for the final point position. There's so many positions to be decided here as we climb the hill, down through rivers to the top of Ranion we go. Casper Gelejic and even Santamaria will be fighting for second after the penalties are applied. Casper's got the battery on the rundown towards the Lacombe chicane. We will run, and Casper will sail on through around the outside, and it's now Williams 1 and 2, including that penalty from Spiga as we head it down towards Bruegel corner. Will Santamaria try and do something? He's just got to try and focus the battery recharge for the final point position as well. Formula Kai going around the outside of Willow. Formula Kai leaves the circuit, keeps the position. Joro van Halkem as well. Looking to hold that position as well on the rundown towards Bruegel corner. Joro squeezing Robin Langenbush to the inside line. The two Red Bulls getting close as well. Joro, the outside, turns to the inside for No Name. The Red Bull will fight this around the outside on the rundown towards Pouon corner. Joro will come out ahead of that little battle. Formula Kai left the circuit and held on to that position. Further ahead though, Noel's making his way towards the bus stop chicane. We have a podium. We have 2 podium positions to still be decided. Santamaria or Jedicic down towards Blanchimont and down towards the bus stop chicane. The battery level pegging here. It's going to be Noel in the Williams, who started on pole. Superlative pace on the hard tyre still will come home to victory. Who will get the podium as we head round the final corner with Noel Gestreen, the pole sitter, with a superb strategy, a superb victory in Spa-Francorchamps will take the win, and across the line after the 10-second time penalty, Williams take a 1-2 finish. Around to the final corner we go. Geno, it's 3 wide across the line, and it's Marvin gets a 20-second time penalty.
What?
Geno in fourth across the line. It's Joro.
No.
Joro got the position. Joro got the final point position here. It's ahead of Robin Langenbush and Formula Kai. It's yellow from Federico Spiga, Panos Karafalides, Tom 97 in 7th, and it's Kart from Willow in 9th, Yara Van Outcome in P10, then it's Langenbush in P11, Formula Kai P12, Marvin Gong, who got that 20-second penalty in P13. There might be a stewards inquiry if he can get that penalty removed, but it is the Williams out in front, not just one, it's both the Williams who are in 1 and 2, maximum points to take away from the Belgian Grand Prix.
Yeah, what a superlative victory it was there. What a good race. I mean, there's a lot of drivers that really just kept their noses clean, and it benefited them extremely well. So it is a Williams 1-2. This will give them a massive boost in the constructors, and they may even just jump both Alpine and the Mercedes. Mercedes won out in that particular battle, but as the podium celebrations went live, we're going to go ahead and just see if we can get our superlatives, and unfortunately I am stuck on a, there we go. Alright, so race winner obviously is going to be the man, the myth, the legend, the tire whisperer of Noel G-String, and Yeno will get fast lap driver today, and Queen's driver go to Tom 97, with Cart getting the most overtakes. So Noel G-String ahead of Casper, Ivan, and then Yeno, Federico, Panos, Tom, Cart, Willow, Yarrow, Robin Lagenbush, Formula Car, Marvin Golm, Louis Welch, Salva Olmedo, Miguel Rodriguez, Tachanes, DV91, Blode, and Zozo, rounding out our field here today. What a race it has been. Just absolute cinema from beginning to end here. And I mean, Rio, just what a race we have had here tonight.
Yeah, it's superb racing, a phenomenal Grand Prix, and believe it or not, for the first time this season, we've been able to complete a full race distance. We finally get to see the checkered flag. Yeah, Williams 1 and 2, perfect race day for them. What a Grand Prix it was. I don't think we had a lap without any battling. Superb action.
Yeah, normally, like we were talking about earlier on in the broadcast, usually you start rapid, you kind of slow down in the middle, and then pick back up at the end. No, we just went up and it just stayed that way all the way through. Absolutely beautiful, beautiful racing just all throughout today. And yeah, we're going to go ahead and try to talk to some of our podium sitters. Not sure if we have any at the moment. We do have one. We do have one driver, I think, in the interviews, so let's go ahead and try to bring them on in if we can. And yeah, it's gonna be fun talking to these drivers, because I want to get their thoughts, especially after a very, very hectic race here in Belgium.
Yeah, without a doubt. I mean, it was amazing to witness what we had, and then it was phenomenal. Hopefully we can get the podium sitters here. We got really waiting for both of the Williams here of Noel and Casper, and then who was it that finished third? I've completely forgot again.
I believe it was Santa Maria. It was Santa Maria that did finish third place, so we're just waiting on those three, and we'll see if they pop in. But I mean, we'll give it about another, let's say, give it another 2 minutes. You want to say?
Yeah, I'll ask them now if they want interviews.
Alright, and then in the meantime, we'll just go ahead and show our faces once again until we get into the interviews. But yeah, that was a beautiful race. I mean, I love Spa. And actually, we'll go ahead and hide our faces just for a little bit. Let's talk about the calendar, talk about what's coming up next. So after the cancellation of Britain, we'll be going back to Britain next week on August 6th. So we'll be going back to Silverstone, the home of British motorsport, the first ever racetrack Formula One has ever used. And it's going to be, from then on, it'll be Madrid, Austria, Imola, Las Vegas, Mexico, Brazil, Bahrain, and then the Circuit of the Americas in Austin, Texas. I'm going to try to get a cowboy hat for Austin, Texas. I am going to try. I will do my best in trying to get a cowboy hat to wear on stream. How I'm going to get it under the headset, though, is going to be a bit of a tricky one, but I guess we'll cross that bridge when we get there.
No, Gesturing does want an interview. I think did they join waiting room? I believe, don't they?
Yes.
If they want an interview, I'll move it. I think I can. Can I move him? I can. Right.
So let's move in. Niall Jesslyn, your race winner today was a superb strategy. Welcome in, Niall. First of all, congratulations on what was a spectacular win. I mean, your strategy, absolute perfection. I mean, you did 8-lap overcut, sensational pace here today. Obviously, the strategy was perfect. What made you go so long on the hard tire?
Hello, first of all. Thank you. Yeah, the strategy. I was testing it on Tuesday, and it went good. And I don't know, I had really good pace on the hard. And then 16 laps on the hard felt so good. And then the mediums are at the end really good to drive, and the pace was obviously good as well.
Yeah. Did you expect to get undercut? Did you expect to come out in the lead of the race? Like, do you think you had quite a good gap? And obviously, when you pit, you get back you get back 100% battery, so you was able to hold on to it, and then you just completely ran away from it at the end of the race.
Yeah, that was really funny. I just told my engineer that he's saying me the gap between me and Casper, or I don't know, was the Ivan, I think, was there as well. I just told him to tell me the gap, and then we decide what lap we pit, and and we went really long to get that fresh medium tire at the end, and then felt really good.
Yeah, I mean, clearly it reminded me of a strategy I think John Altman did. I think in the last game. I can't remember if it was the last time PSGL F1 PC F1 race. It was when Jarno went so long on that hard time, they just absolutely blitzed away from the field. It was similar to that. It was similar levels of that. Was how much pace you had come up at the end of the Grand Prix, putting away 4 seconds in a grid this close. You don't find 4 seconds that easily, and to do it like that, just fair play to you. That's sensational pace. I mean, yeah. Patrick, you got any questions?
Yeah, I mean, first of all, I also want to congratulate you, Noel, on a fantastic race win. Next week, we're headed back to Silverstone for Take 2. How confident are you feeling heading around the home of British motorsport?
Yeah, my first 2 rounds, like the Silverstone round was cancelled, so the first round was China's. I hate China, and my pace was really, how I would say, was not good. Then Belgium, felt good, but back to Silverstone, I have to find pace there.
Yeah, that's fair. It's a tough track. It's not a track I'm good at by any stretch of the imagination. But anyways, last question I have before we go ahead and let you go here. Anybody you would like to give a special thanks or shout out to here tonight?
Yeah, my mates at TES, they're very nice. Benjamin and Alberto Bausch, the best. The whole test team, and my engineer, of course. Mario, it's the best. So, thank you for that.
All right, well, congratulations on the race win. And if you don't have anything else to say, Rio, then best of luck to you next week, Noel.
Yeah, thank you. Have a great evening.
You too.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
All right, and I don't think we have any of the other interviewees in, so I think that's going to go ahead and wrap things up here. So, I mean, once again, Rio, I'm a bit out of breath out of that one. That was a beautiful race.
Yeah, exactly. Spa, it never disappoints. You never have a league race in Spa unless it's raining, where you have disappointment. I mean, it was action aplenty here, and it's so good. People diss these regs, but it helps you have so much action because of all the different strategies. Because of how crucial the battery is, it allows so much more racing. Because you have different people using it in different areas. You see a lot more movements like poo onto the Vanya chicane, and then you just see people blitz on by. It's a mix of proper racing and some could say artificial racing. Nonetheless, though, it's superlative Grand Prix racing.
Yeah, I 100% agree. And I mean, it's been a lot of fun. And you see these cars battle because they are a bit more shorter and a bit narrower. You see them racing and making overtakes in spots that in the previous couple of regs, just really haven't been possible. We've been seeing moves just being made in some crazy locations. And honestly, I think next week when we go back to Silverstone, I think it's going to be more of the same. Well, that is going to go ahead and officially wrap us up here at PSGL PCF5. What a day it has been. Rio, any closing thoughts before we send this one off?
If you're not already, subscribe to the channel, because I mean, what you're doing, you've watched that race and you're not subscribing. Come on. I mean, make sure you're here next week, because we go from one historic track, one phenomenal track, to another. We go to Silverstone, in my opinion, the best track for racing in Formula 1. And we've got 26 laps around there. Take 2, as you mentioned, around the Silverstone circuit. But nonetheless, we should be ready. We should be ready in a week's time. Whilst others are on breaks, we are on racing duty. We are ready. We will be ready for some Silverstone superlative racing. But yeah, I haven't got anything else to say to you.
I'm just going to say thank you guys so much for watching. Stay tuned for all the other divisions, and also when we come back next week for Silverstone. On behalf of Rio, my name has been Patrick Coleman, and we have been your hosts and commentators for today's action. Stay hydrated, and we'll see you guys in the next one. Have a good night. Goodbye.